this is a guide to uploading multicolor images into Cricut Design Space without using any third-party websites or apps. It is a little bit fiddly, but it does work. Today I'm going to use a public domain image I found on public domain pictures. I can give you a link if you require. Okay, so first, I'm going to make a new project, which you've probably already done before, and then we go to upload. Let me select to upload an image. I'm just going to drag it in. I'm going to be doing this a few times. So what we need to do is we need to click to delete anything we don't need. We're going to do this in stages. So first we're going to keep just the black, then we're going to keep just the red, and then we're going to keep just the white. But we have all these extra little bits around, but we'll deal with them once we get the image in. The options at the side here will cut down the amount of colors in your image. When you click it, you can see it's dropped down because the blue and the white are too similar. It makes it easier because there's less to select from. So this will be suitable to get the red and the black, but not to get the white. So we'll do the first two stages just using the simple tools. So come in here. You have to wait for Cricut to process the colors down. We have advanced options. And I've found from playing that 105 seems to get rid of enough little artifacts around the edge. We'll get rid of the blue. When it goes to this checkerboard, that means there's nothing there. So this time we're going to keep the black. So we need to click off anything that is not black. Now it's more important to click the things that are joined, because we can use the contour feature to get rid of the rest later. The preview button down here will show you what it will look like as a cut file. So it will really highlight anything that may be a little bit hard to see when it's coloured. You have all these stars. Just clicking away. It's a bit hard to see the light blue compared to the background, but you can use the preview button to temporarily turn everything black. Right. Just check. So we've only got the black parts we want. Hit continue. Now don't get sucked into this automatic selection here. This will make it a print to cut. You want the cut file, which will only show black, but we can change the colours later for the other colours. I'm going to label this Christmas Penguin black and save it. I'm going to insert them as we go, but you can process them all and then insert them if you like. So we've got the nice black penguin. And we go back to get the red. We'll need to upload it again. We'll go for simple so we can get the red. Continue. Wait for it to process the color reduction. Get back to 105 here for this one. You can change this number to suit. This reduces the colors further. If you reduce them too far, you can't go back easily. You have to go back to the upload screen. So if this is too much, you can turn it down or up, and you'll see me play with it the next color. So this time we only want red. So we'll be getting rid of all the black and the blue. I'm also going to get rid of this tiny part up here, because this will be too small to cut. We can include it with the white later. Now I could remove all of these, but then I'd have to cut twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them in. You see the preview for the cut? It'll become solid. So I'll apply the red and then apply the white over the top, so the white stars will be on solid red, and it makes it easier to line everything up. So happy with all we got the red. Continue. Don't get suckered into the print then cut, because it looks nice, it looks red, but it's not what we want. We want the cut file. And we'll label it Christmas Penguin Red. We'll insert it. Now, here is where we can change it to a red color. We can just move it into place. It's starting to come along nicely. So now we have to go back for the white. And this one is a bit tricky. So if we go for moderately complex, we have to see if we're still going to have this contrast between the blue and the white. Cricut's having a bit of a think. Yeah, so we can still see the contrast, but we're going to have to deal with all of these little snowflakes. Or maybe you want them. But in this case, I'm going to get rid of them. But we're going to do it second. Okay, so we're going to go with moderately complex. Wait for it to process. So we want to have this color tolerance up as high as we can manage to make sure we don't leave any black bits. Not so high that everything vanishes. Take away the red. Oh, this is what the undo button's for. So the difference between the red and the white is not as far as the black and the white, obviously. So 200 is too high for that. But the higher you go, the less tiny artifacts you'll have around the edge. So we'll bring this back down. Let's try the 105 and see if that's right. Yeah, that's fine. There's a tiny bit of red that we dropped out before. We're going to leave it there and it can go on with the white. It'll fix the shape. Zoom tools. Now, if you want your stars to be solid, you could leave those little red stars there. Or if you change your mind later, we can actually make them solid again with the contour tool. But I'm going to take them out for now. Right, so now is a tricky bit. We need to get rid of as much blue as possible and leave this white. So we can try with 105. And everything's gone. So this isn't any good. So we just got to keep sneaking it down. Nope. Let's try 50. Nope. 25. Yes, that's better. Now if we do the preview, you see we've got the stars, all these extra bits. We'll deal with them separately. We've got some mess up here around the hat. I don't know how well you can see that. Got these tiny bits here. Now we can sit here and we can try and click them. One by one by one by one. We can do the same with all these if we want to. But that can be really tedious. I'll show you on one. I turn it up to 1,000 because then it grabs everything that's isn't connected by nothing. But it still leaves some. So we'll clean that up afterwards. Continue. Don't get sucked in by the printer cut. We're going to have this. And I probably should have typed in white, but it's a bit late now. Select it and insert. Now, for convenience, if we change this to white, it's a bit hard to see. So I'm going to go with this light yellow instead. We move it into place. Okay, so now we're going to use the contour tool. And you can see right here at the moment that these stars that would be in white are actually sitting on top of the red. So we don't have to cut them twice. But we need to get rid of all of these. So I'm going to use the contour tool. It's down here on the bottom right. Now, there's not actually many pieces that we want to keep. Most of what we don't want to keep. So I find it easier if we turn off everything and then just turn back on what we need. Now, because there's so many pieces, it's quite hard for Cricut to work, and I'm hoping that the video doesn't slow down while I'm doing this. If you get an error, just tell it to continue. It's just saying that it's taking a long time to run. Right, so once it all shows up, because it's quite complex, it'll be a bit slow to load. We've got so many pieces. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to hide all the contours to start. And wait for it to respond. So if I can find the thing again. Oh, there it is. Right, so now we're going to just turn back on the bits that we want. So we're doing white, so we want that bit. And the head. Now, this is the gap for the black to show through. We don't have those, the white will be solid. Which can be fine if you want to apply the face over the top, but we want the white to be on top of the red, so we need to keep that in mind. The little bauble at the top. And then we need to do the stars. So the center of the stars is that red cutout bit. So we can have just small stars, but we're going to have the outlines. So we're going to turn these all on. You can drag through this list as well, which for stars is kind of easy to find them. And because there's so much going on, Cricut has a bit of a struggle. So if your computer's a bit slow, you might have quite a bit of a wait for this. Ah, there's some stars. So we definitely want them turned on. Grey is off, the background, white is on. So we've got to find all of the stars, either here, or zooming in and finding one here, whatever you like. Now, you can see here, the light coloured ones are currently off. So we want them on. They go temporarily dark when you hover over them. So you know which one you're about to click on. It looks like we've got all the pieces. Zoom out a little bit to have a quick check. That's all of his belly. That's definitely turned on, isn't it? Oh, that's definitely off. Now it's on. Okay. And then we can just close it with this little and it should update after everything. There we go. Zoom out a bit here. I've got all these white pieces. You can see that the white is across the top of the red. Just line it up nicely. Now, lining it up here doesn't really matter if you're going to cut, because it's going to cut all separate anyway. It matters if you're going to print to cut. But I like to line it up anyway. Can't help myself. Okay. So, if you want some of these stars to be solid, to not have this double cut to make the outline, you can go back to the contour tool. And I'll show you just one, if it wants to load. So you can see, just say continue on the script warning if you get one. Right, so if I click on the inside of the star, I'll do these three. You can see that the double outline goes away. Close this up. It should update. Now you can see that they're solid. So it's up to you what you like. But I'm going to stick with the original and turn them back on. It is quite a long wait with complex images. So the more pieces you can remove when you're uploading is better, but it can be easier to cut out all those small pieces of all these snowflakes later using the contour. Check that they're all on. They look onto me. And there we go. One multi-layer penguin. Then you can just make it. You've got your black mat. This is in yellow, but you can cut it in white and the red. Easy.